Hi guys, this is going to be a daily general read. All the readings at this point are timeless, so whenever you should happen to stumble upon this video or feel called to watch it, would probably be a good time for you and you're meant to extract something from this. If this one doesn't feel like it's a good fit for you, you can just scroll through and pick any of the other daily message videos and see if one of those would work. Okay, so let's get started. We'll see what Spirit has for messages today. Spirit, guides, universe, what messages do they have for us today? Oh, a few came out that time. Stay focused. So for some of you, you definitely are having a task at hand that is requiring your full attention and focus. And this is just letting you know that it's important to focus on the task, yes. That doesn't mean that should be the only thing that you're focused on, but if there are things that you know are distracting you, you're really being called to cut out those things that are distracting you from being productive, getting things done, getting closer to your goal. I am feeling like for some of you, and this has been coming up, it's been like a theme lately, and I think a lot of people are feeling like they're needing that detox from social media, from screen time. And funnily enough, yesterday we kind of all got it worldwide with the, the Facebook shutdown that happened and all of those other social media apps. If you are watching this in real time, if you're not and you're watching it later, you'll look back on this and remember this time it was kind of it was a little bit of a funny thing. It was just out for like half a day or something. But you are being called to just stay focused on the task so that you actually can accomplish and achieve it. And those things that you're knowing are distracting you, you really are being called to commit to cutting those out for a time so that you can see how productive you are and how much more efficiently you'll get things done. And then that will motivate you in the future to, limit those things as well. And more than one came out actually on this poll, so I'll do this as well. Focus upon your strengths. So I guess there's a focus for today. These are both focus cards. So you're being called with this goal that you have to focus on what you're good at. I do feel like someone's needing to hear that it doesn't matter what your shortcomings are or what you're not good at. We all have areas where we're going to thrive and we're going to do really well. We have things that we excel at, things that we do above average, and there are going to be things where, we fall short or we perceive that we fall short. And that's okay. That's just how life is. You don't have to necessarily focus on the things that you're not good at. You can always outsource for those things, or you can, you can work on learning or getting better at certain skill sets, cultivating better understanding of things that you're perhaps not, brushed up on and wanting to be. But for the most part, I do feel like this card is just calling for you guys to just really just focus on what your strengths are, build upon those. And okay, so I'm feeling like there's someone who is needing employment. And you're trying to figure out, like, what is my next step? What am I good at? What am I supposed to do? Or maybe you're looking at jobs and you're like, but I'm not good at this, or I can't do that. That's okay. Focus on what your strengths and strong suits are and then build from there. It's kind of like, when they used to do, I don't know if they do it anymore. I think so. But like back in high school, they would do these aptitude tests to see, what are your strengths? What do you excel at? And then they'd give you like a printout of potential career choices that would be a benefit to you, that would be, good for you, a good option for you based on what your skill sets and strengths and likes are. And I know there are still tests like that available today. So if this is you, definitely look for something online, like a skill set test, a career-based test or something like that would really help you. But I have to say too, for some of you as well, what is coming out is that you actually know what your strengths are and you know what it is you're being called to do, but you don't have the confidence to do it. And so that's why you're holding back, and that's why you're struggling, having a hard time finding something else, because really, you know that even though you could do something else, you would be settling. You're being called to like raise the bar for yourself, to really like just step into your power, step into what your strengths are. That's why you're being called to focus upon your strengths. That's all you need to do what you want, to do what you feel called to do what your passion is, to do what you feel you were born to do here. Another card that came out, we had 3 on this one, and this is really weird. There's been like a 3 Even like with private readings or readings I've done for myself, like 3 cards are jumping out in the weirdest ways right now. So there's definitely, you know, 3s are a thing right now. So pay attention to numbers. Listen. You're being called to listen. Now, this does not feel to me like you're needing to listen to what other people are saying or listen to outside chatter and things like that. For this, I think you're being called to go within and listen. This means listening to spirit. This means listening to the frequencies that are not audible to most of us unless we work on silencing those other things that disconnect us from spirit, disconnect us from the divine. One of the ways that you're going to work on this is to just try to just sit in silence. Sit in silence, work on meditation, work on journaling, work on trying to co-create with spirit. And the first step of that is listening. You know, so asking questions, waiting for the answer, see what comes to you. I just see what else is coming up. Someone's getting messages, or someone that's going to be watching this. It's weird. I know I know some of you might be like, how does this even work? Nobody's watching. But you know, time is irrelevant. It's not a thing in the spirit world. So this is a reading for someone who is going to read it and might resonate with more than one of you. Yeah, spirit's giving you signs. If this is you, you already know what you're supposed to do. You just need to focus. You know what your strengths are, you know what you want to do, but you keep telling yourself, well, I can't make a career out of that, or I shouldn't be doing this. And I understand that because I've gone through that same struggle myself, but you can get through that. You can get to the point where you're pushing yourself, because you actually will, whether you do it now or later. It's just you're being called to right now. When you see this as a sign that you're needing, but you'll get to a point where you just can't take it anymore, where you're literally just like, I can't see myself doing anything else. I'll never feel complete. I'll never feel settled if I don't do this thing I know I'm called to do. And for this, I feel like you are getting signs. You're hearing things. You're hearing the voice, the inner knowing. You're just not trusting it. So for those of you that's resonating with, you know, you need to listen, because this is not just a one and done message. I'm hearing that, like I've said, they've gotten the message like literally thousands of times. This is over the course of years for some of you. This is not even going to be just a few weeks or a few months. This is a long time coming, what's needing to happen here. Okay, let's see. Spirit, what else can you tell us about this? Okay, next card to come up. Set your sights higher. What did I say? You have to set the bar higher. Increase your standards and expect more for yourself. Don't settle. You are not being called to settle for the status quo, to settle for, you know, working and committing your entire life and your most valuable asset and resource of time to making someone else's dream a reality. You know, those are the only options you have in life when it comes to career. You're either going to be working your tail off for your own dreams and goals, or you're going to be doing the same for someone else's. Those are the only choices that we have. And you're being called to rise to the occasion. And that occasion is meeting the request of what you know you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't matter how outlandish or how, you know, fantasy-like it might seem to someone else. Anyone else's opinion about what you innately know you are meant to be doing is none of your business. What anyone else thinks about this has nothing to do with you. So set the bar higher and achieve, you know, and set that as the goal. And you can achieve it. And work with spirit to do that. Ask them for your for strength. Ask them for ask to borrow confidence. Ask to borrow the tenacity to take action, the energy to take action, the will to get on this path and begin doing this work that you're dreaming about. Oh, okay, that one just jumped out too. Accept heaven's help. I just said this. You've got to ask for help, ask for guidance, ask the divine, ask them to borrow whatever it is that you're needing. You've prayed for help, get out of the way and let heaven help you. So this is a reminder to listen, ask for the help. You can ask for help in listening as well. You know, whatever your belief system is, these energies will respond to you. They will work with you. They will communicate with you in whatever way you're willing to receive and listen and accept the message. So, you know, ask. I do this all the time when I'm talking to spirit, communicating with the divine. If there is something that I ask and I don't understand the message, I will say, please deliver me a message that I can clearly understand. Ask for help and then be ready to accept the help when it comes. When it comes, you can't keep rejecting it. You're going to keep getting the same message. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, Spirit, what else can you tell us? What other messages need to come out today? Okay, this is the Unicorn deck. I love working with this deck because it's so, I don't know, it's just very majestic and it always lifts my spirits. Curiosity. Start a project related to something you're curious about. So for some of you, this is going to pertain to just, I'm feeling like defeating boredom. I'm feeling like some of you are really just like, oh, life, the day-to-day, the humdrum, I'm sick of it. You're being called to spice things up on your own. You're being called to incite that excitement, that magic, that newness, feeling youthful again, that exuberance. And the way that you're going to do that is to do things that are new, do things that you have not tried before, get into something that you've always been curious about, always wanted to do. I am feeling like for someone that's cooking, you needing to cook more, being called to cook more. I don't know who that is, but if that's you, let me know. You're being called to just play with recipes. Maybe you're wanting to cook, or I feel like you've been eating out for a long time. You're not used to cooking. And I used to be the same way. I used to really not like cooking. I used to tell myself I wasn't good at it. And, you know, you might mess up some meals at first, but it can be really fun. And it's a really, really great creative avenue of expression. And it's also really great for stress relief. You know, if you have the time and you're not in a rush while you're cooking, you know, just coming up with recipes on your own and taking the time to prep and put together everything. It's a really good way to focus so it can take your mind off like other stressors and things. Okay, let's see what else. Spirit, what other messages do you have for us today? What other messages? Ooh. The cards are coming out so quickly today. Go with the flow. Let things happen. So for some of you, this could be in regards to what we were talking about earlier, serving out your purpose, your career. For others, you're actually, I'm feeling like this may be pertaining to, you're kind of in a weird place right now. A place that feels like uncertainty, a place that feels like, I'm not really sure what to do. Like you have no clue. These are two separate arenas here, or two separate people, or two separate areas. You're not in a place of stagnancy, but you are in a place of, I'm feeling like indecisiveness, right? So when you're indecisive, it's not going to be good for you to make a decision until you're certain. So right now, some of you, and you'll know who this is if this is pertaining to you. Someone I feel like has probably already said this to you here in the physical world. Just go with the flow. So learning to settle and go with the flow. It doesn't mean to not take action. Take action, but then just allow things to flow, see what happens. This could also, for some of you, definitely be in regards to a relationship. Perhaps your relationship is not going the way that you're wanting, or it's not picking up as fast as you would like. You're being called to just go with a natural flow. Just let it marinate. Just let it be. Just sit with the energy of what you're feeling. Don't force anything. Just let it flow and see what will happen. That's interesting. I had a card fall on the floor. Okay, so what other messages do you have for us today? Spirit, what other messages do you have for us today? Ooh. Okay, I had two come out that time. Soulmate. My heart sings with happiness to love and be loved. So for some of you, this is going with the flow. Perhaps it's a flow that you are like, I don't know about this person. Are they really the one? Maybe they're not your traditional type, so you're not feeling certain. For some of you, though, this is a soulmate. Now, also, just so you guys are aware, and you may already be, a soulmate can be a friend, a soulmate can be a family member, soulmates can even be pets. Soulmates are not always romantic connections. Though we most often like affiliate them with being romantical, they are not always. But in this case, I do feel like this definitely is. This is something that's new. It's in the infancy stages, and you're kind of just feeling it out like, I don't know. Go with that flow. And this is a soulmate. And in what way it's going to develop, you're not meant to know right now. You're meant to just go with that flow. The next that came up was creative wonderment. Get inspired to create something new. So this has come up now kind of twice. This is a little bit of a mirror of the card earlier. The curiosity, starting something new, getting a new project going. It's so great too, because when you try something new or you get into something creative, it just opens up so many doors for you in other areas of life. You just see how you really live in a self-limiting way, or perhaps you've been restrictive with yourself. It just, doing something new, something creative, tapping into that, it just opens up whole new worlds for you. Oh wow, that one really just fell out. Purification. So some of you are being called to purify your life in certain areas. This again, I feel like could be going back to the technology that we mentioned. Purification of electronic things. It's interesting, I'm going through that a little bit myself too, like just being more mindful of screen time and things like that, but also to purify the home, make sure that like you're cleansing your space regularly, you're cleansing your body energetically. This could also be purification of your actual, feeling like the body, like the systems of the body. So for some of you, you could be feeling called to perhaps go on a clean diet for a little bit of time. Maybe try to incorporate more greens into your diet. Maybe, I feel like some of you might be, or someone is contemplating doing a juice cleanse. That can be really good. I've done those before. They can be really beneficial. If you have any health issues, of course, you want to make sure that you're well enough to do something like that. It can be quite hard on the system. For others of you, you're needing to cut out things. I'm feeling like there are some toxins that you're probably intaking too regularly. Soda, sugary drinks, if you guys are into that, definitely stop doing that. And also, the cleaner your system is, the clearer and more purified your system is, the easier it can be for you to start hearing that inner voice and start connecting with the divine. So you'll hear your higher self, you'll hear, your past selves from other lives. You'll be able to like tap into that infinite wisdom that's available to you from the divine, the cleaner and clearer your system is. Because what happens when you're eating a lot of junk foods or you're consuming a lot of things that really interfere with your body's natural processes, the body's got to work a lot harder to cleanse those things out. So there's a lot more going on even when you're at a rested state, and that can interfere with your ability to be hearing, what you're asking for, feeling what you're asking for. Okay, let's see what else. What other messages do you have for us? Oh my gosh, it's so funny the way the cards are jumping out. I love when they do that though. It's interesting because sometimes I notice there's, it depends on the energy of who I'm channeling for or what I'm channeling for, but I am feeling like the energy tonight, there is a sense of urgency. So I don't know if someone's in a rush or wanting to rush or in a hurry. You're like, I want this to take off. I want it to jump off. So that's what this energy is. Spiritual teacher. Your life purpose involves teaching others about healing and spirituality. That's a really beautiful message. For those of you watching that resonates with, you'll know if that's you. If you are meant to be a spiritual teacher, you'll know. You'll have had the calling for such a long time, just like I did. I've had the calling for years and years and years. I've had the gift, I've had the ability for years, but getting to that point where you actually take the action, it can be so difficult. And so what will happen is when you know that it's what you're meant to be doing, Spirit will continue to give you those messages consistently. You'll get that validation as often as you need, as often as you ask. For those of you that are needing that other message, you don't need to hear this from anyone other than yourself, and you are already getting the message from the divine. I'm certain of it. But this is your sign. You are a spiritual teacher. Your life purpose, this is what you're meant to be doing. It's what you came here for. Spirit, what else can you do? Okay, that one's jumping. I see a sense of urgency. They're just like running right out of the piles. It's interesting because this one actually came out earlier when I was pre-shuffling the cards. Your desire is within reach. Have faith as everything is working out in your favor. So For some of you, I feel like this, whoever it is, and it could be multiples of you, the spiritual teachings. If you're feeling like you're not ready or you're ill-equipped, you're definitely ready. Especially if you're feeling like, I'm not sure if I'm ready. Usually when that happens, like when I feel into someone that is experiencing that, it's usually because you are ready. You're right on the cusp of starting. You're ready to start. You have everything you need. Timing is divine. And the way that you reach for that desire and attain it is just to start. You take the action, whatever it is. You'll usually know what it is, or you'll have an inkling or an idea. If you don't, ask Spirit to give you a sign, a clean, clear, easily understandable sign or message that that will resonate with you, that will make sense to you. I'm gonna pull some other this deck as well. Spirit, what other signs, messages do you have? Ooh. Okay, 2 came out that time as well. The end of a tough cycle is finally approaching. Wasn't that the news some of us have been waiting for like 5 years, 10 years, some of us, more even? If you've been having a really tough time, or you feel like someone's been going through a dark night of the soul coming out of it, just know that the cycle is ending. And the way that it will end, it'll be so beautiful. You know, the way that these things end is when you finally answer the call, what you know your calling is, what you came here to do, what you're meant to do, what you feel in your soul, your bones, your spirit, your heart, your mind, everything. On every plane of your existence, you'll know, you'll just have that it's just a deep knowing. It's a sense. So hopefully that gives you guys some encouragement. You don't have to worry if you're going through a tough time. I feel like somebody was like, when will this end? Let that go. You don't have to focus on when this rough patch you may have been going through is going to end. Focus on when the good is going to start, and you decide when that starts. You are in control of that. You take directive and initiative there, and then this will end, and it'll be unbeknownst to you. It'll be so subtle. The next that came out was you're on a journey of discovering your life purpose. So obviously there's a theme here tonight. And I love that because this is what Spirit does. You guys, I feel like you're really being encouraged and called to. Anyone can do this. I mean, I've been working with Oracle cards for a really long time. It was one of the first ways that I started to trust my channeling, because I would be channeling and getting messages, and then, you know, I would just pull a deck out and the messages would be the same, or I'd get the same messages from different decks. And, you know, Spirit will communicate with you any way that you're willing to receive, any way that you're able to receive, any way you're open to receive. So for some of you, get an Oracle deck for yourselves. Get something that resonates with you, something that, you know, perhaps you like the imagery or like the messages on the cards. Work with that even daily. Just to do a single card reading for yourself can really, you know, just start really help you and encourage you on that path, you know, push you toward taking that action. But for those of you, this spiritual teacher, you'll know this is you. I mean, you are on a journey of discovering your life's purpose. I'm gonna pull more from this deck. I really like this deck. Spirit, what other messages do you have for us? Ooh. Again, 2 came out. Learn when to say no, avoid clutter, slow down, quiet the mind. All things that are going to really help facilitate you being able to channel clearly, understand the messages, received really succinct, clear messages. Avoiding clutter is so important, you guys. The reason that it's important is because, you know, things hold energy, especially if it's clutter that you don't love, you don't want to have, you're just holding on to it for, you don't know why, or if it has negative emotions or memories stored in it, it can really, really interfere with the clarity of that channel, right? The clarity of the way that which Spirit speaks to you. I'll never forget this. It was one of the first messages that I got from Spirit about what made my space easier for them to channel, or easier for them to come through. It was in the last house that I was living in. And I had a designated like a meditation spiritual room, and it was getting a little bit cluttered. And one day when I was getting ready to channel and ask questions, it was so loud. It was like someone was in the room, the voice, I can't explain it. But when that happens, it was so real. And they told me that a clean, clear space equals a clean, clear channel. And then they actually told me what essential oils to put in my diffuser to call them in, welcome them in. So that's one of the ways that I let spirit know I'm ready to communicate, I'm ready to channel. It's peppermint and lemon essential oil. I know it's a weird combination, but it smells amazing. It's a very clean, crisp scent. That's not going to be probably the same for all of you, but ask the divine, ask your guides, show me ways that I can communicate with you better or receive communication from you better. And you can also ask them, like you can set up a language with them yourself. Like, okay, if I'm meant to do this, show me this. If the answer to this is a yes, please give me this sign. But things like that will start happening, but it's really important to try to slow down. So meditate before you ask these questions or you're wanting to connect with them. Quiet the mind as much as you can and really get rid of the clutter, because the clutter is an energetic, it's an interference. It just really interferes. It's like static on a radio station. Doesn't mean the message won't come through, but it may not be audible. The next, to rise, you must let go of fear. So for those of you worrying that the desire is not within reach or you're not ready, maybe you're not ready because this tough cycle that you're still going through, when will it end? You have to let go of that fear. You've got to release that fear that you're holding onto so tightly so that you can grab a hold of what it is that you're truly wanting, desiring, and needing to call into your life. Your life's purpose is spiritual work. Actually, the last card I'm going to pull from the self-care. Pull a self-care. So we'll see what actionable step you guys can take today. Spirit, what self-care step are we needing to see today? Show us the self-care step. We had two come out. So the way I usually do these, you can either pick one or if both resonate with you, but do the best you can to implement as soon as possible. Find a mentor. Find a mentor in your field who can help you reach your goals faster. I've talked about this before in another one of the readings, because it's such a crucial step, especially if you are getting into the arena of spiritual work. Find someone that can kind of help give you that guidance, someone here in the physical world that can give you that guidance to get on this path, stay the course, help you be discerning when it comes to the messages that you get, the opportunities that may arise from these gifts that you inevitably have. That is key, really. And this mentor, it doesn't have to be somebody that you're actually like talking to. This can be a spiritual mentor that you perhaps watch on YouTube, a motivational speaker, but find someone that you look up to that can kind of be a guide, a little bit of a guide for you along this journey, something that will motivate and encourage you and assist you along the way. Forgiveness is for you. Forgive others and yourself because your soul deserves peace. So I am feeling like this is for self-forgiveness. And for some reason, every time this card comes up, the feeling that comes with it is it's more self-forgiveness and not forgiveness for other people. I mean, forgiveness is for you, but also, forgiveness, it's not just for you with other people or other experiences or things that have happened. Sometimes the forgiveness is, I'm feeling like there's someone here who's like, I'm too late. It's too late in life. I wasted so much time. I can't believe I've been doing this with my life and that's not what I want to be doing. Forgive yourself. You have a clean slate. Every day is a fresh start. Every day is a clean slate. It's interesting. I saw somewhere earlier today, I can't remember, and it said, I can't remember because I'm constantly reading, watching documentaries, and I'm always like looking to just expand my breadth of knowledge. But they said, what was this saying? Oh, the only place where the past exists is in your mind. That's so true. So whatever it is that's happened in the past, that's a point of pain for you, whether it's pain towards self, pain towards someone else, pain from someone else, pain towards you from someone else, you can leave it there. I've found that the worst thing that can happen, it's not a bad experience. It's not those bad things. Those are terrible. It's that we'll relive it and we carry it with us for so long. And we can tap into it as if it's just happened yesterday. But you can control that. you are able to take initiative in releasing the past to the past. And one of the best ways to do that as well is to move forward fiercely toward the future and what you're wanting to create and call in. It's not so much about silencing the past or shutting it down or pretending it didn't happen. Honor, acknowledge. And if you're struggling with releasing, the best way to do that is to, I think, just really change the trajectory of your focus. And that's going to be by focusing on the future. What do you want to see achieved tomorrow? And what can you do today to begin to get there? Gosh, my head's like throbbing a little bit. A little bit of a third eye ache, but also it's been storming in Sedona today. It's been a really, really gorgeous, eerie fall day. It was so perfect, just really awesome storms, but I'm a little spent. It's been a little bit of a long day, but I really hope that this message and, these cards spoke to some of you. I hope that these messages coming through from Spirit are resonating with some of you, giving you the faith in yourself, the confidence to move forward in your life, not abandon the fear, but to feel that fear and do what you're wanting to do in spite of it. And I just really hope you guys are getting something good out of these. If you are, I would really appreciate a comment or a thumbs up, just if you get the chance. And wherever you guys are tuning in from, whenever you should happen to tune into this reading, I so appreciate you, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next reading.